Jazakallah khair, brothers, for having me here. May Allah reward you, because subhanAllah, at the end of the day, I owe you. You don't owe me. Because on the day of judgment, this inshallah will be a witness for us on the scales of our deeds, inshallah. The washing and the Islamic funeral process is pretty much the same thing for male and female, even for a child. The only difference is the shroud, the number of pieces for a male and the number of pieces for a female. But we're going to go back to the start, that the last rite, because these are rites. What we do is the rites for every believer. Because every Muslim has to have a janazah prayer. It's a fard kifaya. It has to be done on you. Even if one person does it, it has to be performed. Otherwise, all of us are accountable on the day of judgment. So this is the rites that we give the deceased. And it's like once you give them their rites, Allahu Akbar, it's like they know where they are going now. Allahu Akbar. So my brothers and sisters, in Islam, the burial is the same for everybody. Wherever you go around the world, you'll see the shroud is the same. It has no stitching in it at all. It's plain cotton, and the washing method is the same. So there's two scenarios when someone passes away. We're going to talk about here Australia, because the laws and regulations will apply to us here. When someone passes away, there's two options here. There's the person who, for example, right now I just got a phone call when we were praying that someone had just passed away. They called me early in the morning that they had turned the machine off. And we told them what to do, how to prepare. So there's the scenario where the person is in a state of, he's in sakarat al-maut. He's in the pangs of death, and that could take a sickness for 2 years, 1 year, 3 months, 2 months, 1 week. So he has time to say goodbye. He has time to pay his debts, to reconcile the kingships. And there's the one who leaves the home, like the man that came this afternoon, 38-year-old, who's at his funeral will be on Thursday, who had a car accident in Brisbane, and we had to bring him back here to his home. He's a man that left his house and never came back. The two scenarios is the sudden death and the one who gets to say goodbye. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the death that we can actually, make tawbah and ask for forgiveness. Because the sudden death is a calamity, it's a true calamity. So we're going to talk about the one who prepares, that we know he's going to die. People will call, my dad is on his last breaths. You'll fill up a little bit of paperwork, the name of the deceased, the next of kin, and where you want to be buried at. And I always give people my opinion, be buried in the closest and most available cemetery. Don't wait if they tell you tomorrow there's no funeral, wait for the next day because you want to be in that location. Because that's only a body, the soul's with Allah. So subhanAllah, we got the phone call, we send out the van, we pick up the body, and the body will come normally in a body bag. You've seen the body bag there. Ahmad, can you show them the body bag? So this body bag, they have all sizes of body bags. This is the average adult body bag. We had a brother about 6 months ago, an English UK revert, 44 years old, 245 kilos. He was in a body bag, a very big body bag. And we have babies, like today the baby I did was that big. He was also in a small body bag. So they'll make a body bag to fit you, don't worry. They'll put you in a bag, because subhanAllah, to the believer, death is a prize. To the non-believer, death is a calamity. Allahu Akbar. So they put you in a bag and they put you away. And you'll see the morgue in every hospital is in the worst location of a hospital. It's usually in another section or in the basement or away from the whole hospital where they put all the rubbish and dumping the stuff. That's where they normally put the morgues. Because they class you as a number. You become just a number now. They won't say, bring Mr. Hassan or bring Mr. Ali. They'll say, bring the deceased and take the deceased. We'll show you the paperwork. They call it a disposal form, disposal of human remains. So subhanAllah, we go, we pick up the deceased, and in Islam we bury as quick as possible. Ghusl Mayyit dafnu, it's dignity within reason. So we take that very, very serious. So if you were to die anywhere in the morning up to about 11, 12 o'clock, you should be buried the same day usually. We can do it same day. And if you died in the afternoon, you'd be buried the next day. So once the body is picked up, it's brought back to the funeral parlor. Me personally, I don't like putting them in the cool rooms because where our funeral parlor is, it's already concrete and it's already cool. I believe the cool room doesn't give dignity to the body. It makes the body stiffen up. Unless there's special reasons, there has to be in a cool room. And that happens when someone dies and hasn't got family. For example, we have a man that we have to pick up tomorrow, a Moroccan man who's been dead for about 4 weeks, who has no family. And it took a very long time to get him out of the coroner. And the coroner is the place where you'll be taken if you die in a car accident or suspicious death, sudden death. Even if you die after an operation in a hospital, they'll take you to the coroner. Even though they know roughly the reason, but you still died in a duty of care of someone. And brothers and sisters, wallah, the coroner is one place you don't want to go. The coroner has over 200 bodies at a time in it, in a big, big fridge, triple the size of this. And everyone's on a trolley, and you see big bags, little bags, long bags, short bags, they're just all bodies. And just imagine, yani subhanallah, when we go to pick up from the coroner, like tonight we're picking up someone, they bring the body out to you, and these aren't Muslims, the coroner's not Muslims, this is the government. And what they do is when you go to the coroner, they usually perform an autopsy on you. And it can be anywhere from a scan where you're naked, where they do an MRI on you, or where like the man that died in the car accident, they open you up from your head like this, down to here, straight down here. And for people that have died in shootings and these kind of gangster stuff, they'll open them all here, and they'll open them like this, and they'll open their thighs. And they'll try to get whatever bullets they can out of you. So there's no dignity in it. Wallah, there's no dignity. But sometimes the belly button, supposed to be here, ends up here when they sew you back. Yani they don't care. There's no respect. So in the coroner, when you go to pick up, they bring the body and they'll do a last identification scan. So they tell you, open the body bag, fully open, the body's naked. So imagine our sisters who are covered all their lives. They're naked, exposed to everyone in there. And the camera will run on a track, back and forth, and that's it, you're on their system forever. And you put it back in the bag and you take them back to the funeral parlor. A time is allocated for your funeral. And subhanAllah, with so many people dying now, 4, 5 a day, 6 a day, you got to get a time slot. It's whatever time slot they give you. So they might give you 11 o'clock, they might give you 2 o'clock. Whatever time you're given, like today, about half an hour before the funeral time, there was not one person there. Once the funeral time came, everybody rocks up. And every time I see this, I say to myself, subhanAllah, people come and then people will go and they'll leave you again. Yani, as much as you think on this earth you are important, or you have people around you, or that you think you have status, it's all just in your head. Because if you die, they'll leave you and go. No one will stay with you. It doesn't matter what you did for them. It doesn't matter if you're employed by them, whatever, you're gonna leave. Nobody will stay. So everybody rocks up, and then everybody sits there, waits for you. When it comes to the washing, my brothers and sisters, the men wash the men, the women wash the women. Now the Sharia is you can wash up to 7 years old and below, either gender. The husband can wash the wife can wash the husband. And these were narrated with, subhanAllah, Ali when he washed Fatima and so forth. There's many hadith about it. But it doesn't happen these days. You know why? Because our men don't know how to wash and our women don't know how to wash. And this is why it's very, very important to learn this. Because in the Arab countries, in our countries, everyone washes their family members. It's part of learning it because everyone washes at home. So when the body is put on the table, and the washing table is pretty much one big stainless steel sink with a basin here, hoses up here, we fill up the water, and what we add on the water is, so the Prophet ﷺ said, use the sidr in your wash of the deceased. And sidr is the lotus tree. It's lotus bark that is being crushed, which makes soap and makes foam. And he said, use the foam to wash. So what we do is, once we start washing, my brothers, is the first thing that happens is whatever clothes you had on. So we're talking about the one who dies at home, for example. He's in his pajamas. All of it gets cut off. Never ever do we expose the awrah. Doesn't matter who's washing. This towel never gets moved from the knee to the navel button. Always protect the chastity. The clothes get all ripped off. If there's any hoses on you, catheters, colostrum bags, whatever it is, all gets taken off. Even your fake teeth get taken off. And then the wash will begin. And when we say the wash begins, the wash begins. And the first thing we do with the wash is we make intention, just like we make intention for everything we do. The difference is the deceased can't make the intention, so I make the intention on his behalf that we are going to perform ghusl on him. And the first thing we do, subhanAllah, is we always stand on the right side and we get the hose and we wet the body from head to toe, and then we clean the private part. And how do you clean the private part? And this goes back, my brothers and sisters, very, very important. about the hadith of the Prophet, about 1/3 of your stomach with food. Because when you die and you've eaten a big meal, it's not pretty because it all comes out. Because what we have to do is we get the soap. So the soap we use is always, you use unscented soaps. You don't use soap with a scent when you wash the deceased. Just like when you do Hajj and Ihram, you do not use anything with a smell. You soap the stomach like this, if it's a big guy, and you massage the stomach like that. The legs get opened and the body, if it's a very hard, you'll use your elbows a bit and everything will start coming out into the sink. Because you need to give him a state of purity as much as possible. And if they're not very big, you can actually lift the body up, so like stand him up and it pushes everything out. Once we've cleaned that properly and we know nothing else comes in, and all the washing is done from under the towel like this, and we always check if there's anything, we keep going until it comes out white again. And obviously we use gloves and we wear an apron and obviously all this kind of stuff. If, and it happens a lot where it keeps coming out, people who've died from cancer and stuff like that, they're on a lot of medication. You need to turn the body sideways like this, and we get the cotton and we close the back up, because that's sometimes the only way it can stop. Because my brothers and sisters, it is very, very important to perform the right cleanliness, because you do not want to go to the cemetery a few hours later and you're shrouded in white and you lift the body up to put in the grave and you stand and you can see all brown underneath. This is not a respect for the deceased. That's why this needs to be done 110% correctly, even if it has to be done 50 times over. Many times we wash bodies, we're finished, we move them to the table for the shrouding and something comes out of them. We have to start all over again. So it's very, very, it's a responsibility. And this goes back to in our religion about doing things with ihsan, perfection. Do it from your heart. Don't do shortcuts. My brothers, so the first wash is done with the sidar. The second wash, we use the camphor, The Prophet ﷺ said, use the camphor on your deceased as it stops insects coming to the body and it puts a nice smell. And the reason why, because at the time of burial, angels are present at the time of burial, and this is only for obviously a good soul. So we use the camphor for the last wash, and what we do is we start here on the head. You know, one thing, Allahu Akbar, and we see this all the time, is the feet are pointing like this. See how they're up? They're like this. Because the soul starts from here. Subhanallah. It starts from here and it goes up. And as it moves up, the deceased will say, I'm getting numb, I'm getting cold, and he won't feel his legs, he won't feel his thighs, he won't feel his waist until he gets the taraqi to the here, to this area here, to the throat. Allahu Akbar. And the people will say, وَقِيلَ مَنْ رَاكَ. Where's the doctor? Where's the Rocky? Where's the person to help him? And the deceased will know, وَظَنَّ أَنَّهُ الْفِرَاقِ. He will know this is the departing. The deceased knows it. Wallah, he knows it. He knows he's leaving the earth. We hear it all the time, the words they say. Subhanallah. وَاتَّفَّتِ السَّاقُ بِالسَّاقِ. The feet are put over each other. And we don't put the feet over each other when we wash. But it means you cannot do good deeds anymore. You cannot go to Umrah. You cannot go pray in the masjid. Oh, I'm going to go pray today, but you can't go anymore. You can't put your hijab on if you're a lady. You're not going to see another Ramadan, etc., etc. You're cut off from doing good deeds. And obviously there's a lot more to go. But the whole moral here is you are cut off from the world. The reality has hit right now. The Prophet ﷺ said, the eyes of the deceased follow the soul. You'll see him looking up, and we see it all the time. And the Prophet said, close the eyes, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we close the eyes. But we see all the time the eyes follow the soul. Because as the soul leaves, the eyes follow the soul. They see it going. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Wallah, every single one of us is going to go through this. Every single one of us is going to go through this procedure. Allahu Akbar, subhanallah. Once we've washed the body with the camphor and everything, and obviously we wash the back and the other side, then we perform the wudu again, just in case anything happens. And we use a little bit of Zamzam water for the wudu, for the barakah. It's not necessary, but it's something that is nice, subhanallah. And we do wudu exactly the same way you do it when you're alive. The hands, you wipe the mouth, wipe the nose, wash the face, the arms, the head, the ears, and then you go down to the feet and toes. Another important point here, my brothers and sisters, it's very sad when we get a deceased and his nails are that long. that far, nails. It's sad, not for the deceased, it's sad for the family that has to sit and watch me cut them. Why didn't you do it when they were alive? Why didn't you service your parents when they are old and they can't move anymore? Because they can't look after themselves anymore. They can't groom themselves. This is the ihsan of a child, what he does. He grooms his parents. You may have to bath your dad for a year or two. You may have to take him to the toilet. You need to be prepared for this. It happens a lot. So you need to groom them. And if we do cut the nails, we put him in a shroud next to him. Because anything that comes out of a deceased needs to be buried with the deceased, including body parts and limbs. And that happens a lot. Even if your leg was amputated, they'll bring the leg to us and we'll bury it in a grave. You don't just throw things. So we know at 16 weeks, it has a soul. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at 4 months blows the soul into the baby. In Australia, the law is 20 weeks and under. If it dies, they incinerate it. Now 20 weeks, you can see the hands, you can see the face, you can see everything. It has a soul. So alhamdulillah, in Islam, we bury it with an adult. And over 22 weeks, it needs its own grave. Over 20 weeks plus. So we never, ever, ever throw body parts away or destroy them. When you handle the deceased, when you wash the deceased, when you're moving a deceased, treat them very gently. Treat them like they're alive. And this was told by the Prophet ﷺ, when I pick up his arm to wash, I don't just let it go thinking he's going to put it down, because we're used to that. We have to put it down gently. You don't just slam it. You don't slam their head. And when I was talking about when the soul's coming out, subhanAllah, a lot of people, their head goes forward. So when you put them on the table, there's a gap like this behind their head and the table. So for dignity, we use a headrest. And subhanAllah, as you wash them and the warm water gets into the body, it all loosens up again, alhamdulillah. So once the wash is done, my brothers and sisters, subhanAllah, it's time to dry the body. And we do it usually with hot air and a towel. And same thing, you never take this towel off. What we do is we put another dry towel on top and we slip it off. And same, the back is dried both ways. Everything is dried, the nostrils, everything. And the body then is put onto the shrouding. And you'll see the shrouding here. So the shroud consists of 3 main materials. That's your 3 main pieces of shroud. 1, 2,